Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Today, we have a new set of great stories for you to enjoy. Subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Sit comfortably. Here we go. Make me live in unlivable conditions? Let's see how that works out for you. I've been living in my current apartment for about 11 months and a week. My roommate and I were prepared to renew our lease, but in the last month, the quality of our apartment has fallen off a cliff. There are several 3-foot holes cut in the walls of the hallway, dripping water filled with black, white, and green mold that have been open, with no additional repairs for almost a week. Then our hot water went out, and after 3 days of submitting service requests online and calling the front office, I finally threatened legal action. Then when the repair guys finally came at 5 p.m. on a Friday after I'd been calling it in since Wednesday morning, the repairman kept bitching and moaning about how I was ruining his weekend. And for the week preceding and following my water heater repair, my pipes have intermittently been pumping up brown and yellow water. I went to my leasing office to complain and tell them about the issues. I brought photos and videos of all the issues and told her about the repair staff's rudeness. Her responses were, "My repair guys wouldn't say that, you're making it up," or "It's just mold, it's not going to kill you, and we don't have to tell you anything about repairs not inside your apartment, so why don't you just mind your own business?" And yeah, repairs take time. You couldn't be patient. And my favorite, "It's just rust. You'll be fine." She then had the gall to tell me if we were renewing, our rent would be going up. I canceled my lease right then and there. But here's where my true revenge begins. After signing a new lease at a new apartment building, I wrote a 6-paragraph, scathing account of the incidents, including photo and video. These then went on Yelp, Google, Rent, Apartment Guide, Apartment List, and every other realty website I could find. I sent copies to their corporate headquarters, the Fair Housing Agency, the Code Enforcement Agency, and a lawyer. I've already been told that what I went through constitutes inhospitable living conditions, and that I'm not obligated to pay rent while living on these terms. If they just done the repairs, apologized for the delay, and left my rent alone, they would have had us for another whole year. Now every time you Google my apartment complex, the first result is my scathing review and pages of photos of brown water, rotting wood, and mold. And our second story. Revenge is unexpected, but oh so sweet. One of the most entertaining things in a customer service / dealing with the public role is the husband and wife dynamic. Sometimes the husband is the more reasonable of the two. Sometimes the wife is the calm and understanding one. Other times they're both a bunch of F-apples. On this particular day, I had a lovely wife with an extremely aggressive husband come into the warehouse and pick out a storage ottoman they wanted. Now the storage ottomans were a frustrating item, as the metal mechanisms that allowed the lid to be opened and shut made the ottomans extremely heavy, needing at least 2 people to lift it. Naturally aggressive D-bag husband flat out refuses to pay delivery for his ottoman he's just purchased. In his words, "We'll just pick it up." Yeah, right, buddy. More like, "We'll drive our small car around the back and your warehouse staff can do it." The husband and wife conclude the sales process in the store, and the sales associate passes a copy of the paperwork on to me. I scan it over and make sure they've ticked off and signed off on the terms and conditions, that all clearance sales are final, that all clearance sales are as is, that warehouse staff / sales staff are not covered under any insurance for loading or unloading customers' goods, and customers are responsible for the pickup of any items they purchase / order, etc., etc. The customer pulls their car around. It's a smallish car, but should be fine. The husband walks over and I show him where his freshly bagged ottoman is and hand him a trolley. "Man, what's that for?" Me, "To load your ottoman, sir." Man, chuckles. No, you're helping me." Me, "There's 2 of you, sir. You'll be fine." "Well, then I'm canceling my order and filing a complaint against your company." I just sigh. I don't want to cost this salesperson a sale, but my gut is trying to tell me something. I quickly go to the office and grab a release form, which we use for anyone picking up clearance, but make a few handwritten notes of my own. I bring the paperwork back out and show it to the customer. "Sir, could you fill out your full name, contact details, and initial these 3 handwritten comments and sign this release?" "Why?" It just says that you're happy to have me help you load up your ottoman and that if anything happens, you won't hold us liable. Wow, you guys sure take things seriously. I just smile as he signs the document. I pass it to my offsider, asking him to make a few photocopies for the sales associate, the manager, the area manager, and the general manager. The wife grabs one end along with her husband, and I grab the other end. We all lift it up and begin walking it toward the trunk of the car. The wife seems fine, but the husband is struggling. He keeps asking to put it down so he can take a break. We pick up the ottoman again, and as we're about to reach the car, the husband lets go of his end. The lounge tips to the right, I lurch forward, and the ottoman smashes into the back of their car, taking off the right-hand side taillight. The wife immediately starts laughing as the husband loses his crap. He's inspecting the damage and looking at me with wild eyes, wanting me to offer him an admission of guilt. I calmly stand there as they load up their ottoman and drive away. Is that the end? Absolutely not. The next day, the husband calls the store. He's filing a lawsuit against the company for damages and has provided HR and head office with excessive estimates. Immediately, I'm called into the boardroom upstairs. There's the general manager, the manager, HR, and a legal representative who's there for the shareholders. GM and HR explain to me that they're not risking a lawsuit, that they're going to pay for this guy's car, and that they're going to fire me. Without a word, I take out the document the customer signed. I hand it to the HR rep, who hands it to the GM. Me. The customer signed off on a release form after I explained that the company didn't cover or expect me to load his goods. The customer clearly stated that if I helped him, he was absolving me of any liability, including vehicle damage. The GM hands the document over to the lawyer, who scans it. His face changes. They know they can't do anything. Me. I couldn't help but add this. Ask your lawyer over there. I did exactly what the customer asked me to do. I helped them. It was the customer who dropped his end of the ottoman. He caused the damage, not me. There's silence in the room. I turn and walk out. I've had enough. I go to the warehouse, grab my bag, get a bus home, and play some Dead Space 2. There was aftermath. I went to my best friend, who was a lawyer, and put my own lawsuit against the company for a variety of issues, and also sent a few emails out for the company to be investigated. The aftermath and revenge. The aftermath of my legal battle. Trying to keep it vaguish and not as detailed just in case. After this bullcrap transpired, I got together with my best friend and we started looking into the company and the safety procedures they were breaking. The fact they were not hiring enough staff to safely lift items, no lift access in the store, which breaches safety laws regarding moving heavy items and also breaches a few laws around access for people on wheelchairs or disabilities. No overtime pay when people are forced to work overtime. Now a few other things that my best friend uncovered in his investigation. General manager ran a special promotion during my time there that proceeds would go to a cancer charity. And guess what? The $50,000 meant to go to charity disappeared and somehow found its way into his bank account. There was also some claims made about the furniture that were false. Made in Italy? Nope, made in China. 15-year warranty? Nope, 2-year warranty. Unlimited cleaning for the entirety of you owning the sofa? Claims are always denied. Stuff like that. Armed with all this, my lawyer and I went into a mediation where their legal team tried to pressure me into not taking a payout of my wage, my holiday pay, and a payout of all my other benefits if they made this lawsuit against me go away. Imagine their surprise when my lawyer began bringing up all the safety violations, staff wage discrepancies, not to mention the outright lies and stealing carried out by management. The meeting was quickly postponed, and the lawyer for my ex-employer and the general manager asked for a private conversation outside. They asked me what it would take for me not to go ahead in court. My lawyer asked for all my benefits paid and to pay out the rest of the year as if I'd been working a 5-day week. They deliberated for 15 minutes before they agreed. What they didn't agree on is that we couldn't send off the violations to all the necessary government bodies. Last I heard, the GM and management team were fired, and the company was fined $250,000. And our last story. Can you hurry up, please? I'd like to go home. So this story happened at Cold Lake, Alberta. About my first boss ever in the forces. Friday cleanups involved sweeping, mopping, lunch, then wash the vehicles and drive back to base. Unless it was crappy weather, then we wash the vehicles at base. So we're on to a regular Friday in the summer of 2002. And everybody except me, my boss, and the other 2 master corporals are out at the range in the shop. Why so many supervisors for just one guy? We had a mission that morning, so we needed 2 teams on the ground. Our master corporal from the telemetry section came out to assist. After the mission was over, we broke for an early lunch and prepared for cleanup. Now, I was expecting that since I was the only private there, I hadn't been promoted to corporal yet, the master corporals would grab some brooms and mops to help out. Instead, they all sat around talking. No biggie, we all have to pay our dues, right? If they're not in a hurry, then I'll do it all. And I don't even feel bad, like I'm being singled out because nobody else is out here. That is, of course, until my boss glances at his watch and makes the offhanded remark, "Hey, buddy, you gonna be at this all day? We need those floors mopped before we can get out of here. You know the rules." I pointedly looked at the other 3 mops to their right, my left, just sitting there untouched, while I'm mopping a bay large enough to drive 2 vehicles in side by side, which also houses a giant camera you can sit on and swivel around. I'm looking at probably 45 minutes worth of mopping minimum. I didn't even return a snide remark. I simply said, "Yes, Master Corporal," and proceeded to painstakingly mop every single inch of the floor, changing the water out every time it turned gray, like every 2 minutes, to ensure I did a thorough and complete job. It took just over 90 minutes to complete, and we hadn't even gotten down to washing the vehicles, which they could have done in the vehicle bay while waiting. The best part was that my boss, who spent the ride back berating me for how slow I was being, reacting to me reminding him we still needed to wash both trucks. Being the only private, this dawned on him that I was likely going to take us well after 4 o'clock that afternoon if he left it to me. He was right. I would have made those vehicles sparkle with my attention to detail, and decided to show me how to do it quickly after that. In short, this guy wanted to get out for the weekend at noon, but due to his own laziness and sense of entitlement, ended up leaving shortly after 3. We were still off early, but about 3 hours later than he was planning. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.